So this is an edited video. I probably say stupid things in here that I don't even agree with when watching it back, so bear that in mind. So this is Blackrock Mining, a graphite company. Graphite goes into the anode of a lithium-ion battery. It doesn't go without graphite. So right now we have plenty of graphite to supply the electric vehicle market. Come 2025, 2030, they say 2025 again a shortfall, and 2030 you're going to need 4 to 5 million, which means you'll need about 10 of these big projects here coming online. Take in mind, the graphite in your Tesla is roughly about $1,000 now. When we get into shortfall, I say people are going to be happy to pay $3,000 for the graphite in the Tesla, because it doesn't go without it. So coming to shortfall, what happens to lithium? Lithium used to be, get at hard rock spodumene, which goes to make on lithium. You get it out of the ground for $500. Used to be able to sell for $800, or not even sell it for a profit one year, 2018. And now you can get out of the ground for $500 and sell it for $5,000. So massive increases for lithium, and graphite could be next. So what do you think will happen in 2025 if you run short on something and it's in big demand? Are people going to pay more than what they're paying now? I'll leave that to you to answer, or put your opinion in the comments below. So this company here, I actually like companies about $50 million or less. I've got other companies there on my channel, graphite companies. My best pick, ITM on the ASX, they're 30 million, and I see them becoming billion dollar company when this demand kicks in, if not before. Just my opinion. So anyway, we'll go into Blackrock Mining. $157 million, and they got 11 million cash. And let's just see how much money they're going to make. CapEx. So they spend $182 million to do, it's not this number here, that's when they do all 4 modules, this is just module 1. So spend $182 million, and then they do roughly, they make $100 million in EBITDA per year. So for the first module 1, I think it's 90,000 tons per annum, times that by 1200, which is the profit they make. It's about $100 million. So I'm not sure why the payback period is 3.8 years. Take in mind, if you look at some lithium companies in 2018, before the lithium price went up, they had payback periods of 4 years as well. Those payback periods are now like less than a year. CXO on the ASX. Let's just look at this for example. I like to look at this because if you thought that this was going to happen, so this was 2020. You get it out of the ground for, this is hard rock spodumene, which goes to make lithium hydroxide. You got that out of the ground for $500 a ton, and you could sell it for maybe $800 a ton. Their projects looked alright. Take in mind now, you can get it out of the ground for $500 a ton. It's in shortfall, huge demand. You can sell it for $5,000 a ton. That's why this company also had a low capex because it was near a capital city. Didn't have to spend much money at all to get it going. I think it was $100 million capex, and now they can probably make $400 million a year. So that's why it's gone up like this. But that's lithium. Lithium's probably already sailed. Yeah, there's companies out there you can make money on lithium. But I see graphite not yet sailed. If you look into the future, 2025, 2026, what do you think the price is going to be for graphite? I predict a lot more than it is now, which is why you can buy a good company that's going to get into production at good prices now compared to 2026, in my opinion, not financial advice. So basically, you spend $182 million, make $100 million a year EBITDA, so before interest, tax, amortization, so breakdown on your vehicles, whatever. But bear in mind, spending that now, you make $100 million a year. If that graphite price rises, that could be $200 million a year. Meaning these payback periods, which I haven't really worked out, they might be for all 4 modules, they just get reduced by, they just get reduced from 4 years to 1 year. Might not happen, but could happen with graphite. I'm putting money on it that it does happen with graphite, and if not, we're going to need a lot of graphite and they can still make money, but I predict a shortfall. Especially if there's some breakthroughs with manufacturing of electric vehicles, meaning they're cheaper and we're going to need more graphite, and then graphite will be the winner. So $1.4 billion MPV. If you don't know what MPV is, look it up. So basket price, this price, so that's how much I think they make. I think they predict it'll cost them $400 a ton, so they'll make that take for $1,300 a ton. And then if graphite rises, this could go up, meaning it all goes up. So what about the mine size for this, guys? Huge. Blackrock mining, not going to run out of graphite. 16 million tons contained in the ground. Huge resource, so massive resource there, 60 million tons. Bear in mind, a lot of these companies, they could drill and get a lot more graphite. They're just not drilling now because why waste your money? No one needs graphite now. You just got to dilute the share price by raising money to drill. So you want to do a bit of drilling as necessary to probably get 20 years mine life, and then probably wait until the money's there. So Trident Minerals had this big one. Look at that, 157 million tons. This got taken away, the lease expired, the government didn't get back to them, so that's the risk of perhaps in Mozambique or just companies in general. So Ton is still around. They got this mine, which, as I said, they can drill and increase that to a lot. A lot of these companies can do a small project doing 50,000 tons, spend a little bit of money, not diluting share price, and as demand kicks in, they can spend more money and do more tons, which is the basic theme over all these. I like the low capex ones. Mason Graphite, 11 million tons in the ground. Pretty good company, huge capex for this. It's in the middle of nowhere, and they're not doing little stages. They're going all out because they have to build a 70-kilometer power line. So Renascore here, big thing, low capex, because bear in mind, if you're in a capital city, existing stuff, your capex is halved. Imagine you're a tradesman quoting a job next door to quoting a job 5 hours away. It's going to be double or triple, and that's the same as building a mine. If you disagree, argue in the comments, because I'll argue with that. That's, guess what, if you have to transport this big crusher thing 5 hours instead of 1 hour, it's a lot more money, and that's for the whole project. So near a capital city, you're winning. Okay, so what else can I say? We'll just go back to these guys. So they're getting it done. Power supply, I think some of that is hydro and some's natural gas. Yeah, so they do have hydroelectricity available, but I read somewhere else natural gas as well. Do your own research on that. Maybe I'll just put natural gas. Oh, here we go. 40% hydro, 6% natural gas, with a share of hydro forecast to grow. But take in mind, if there's a drought, you probably have to go natural gas. Just a little joke there. So one-off payment. So they got 11 million cash. I think production, they want to get in production by 2024, which is soon, which means they'll be right in production, not making much money. Then come 2025, 26, those prices pick up, they'll be right in the sweet spot. So 150 million. I'd probably, if I had to put money on one of these companies, BKT or RNU, I'd put on BKT just given the lower price. Just my opinion. I wouldn't buy either of them. I buy an ITM, which is next to RNU, which looks like it will become like RNU. They just have to do more drilling and stuff like that. Just my opinion. And ITM's 30 million, so I see a lot more X's with ITM. And I don't see much more risk with ITM either, given it's pretty much as similar to RNU. And we need RNU and we need ITM for the amount of graphite needed. So that was, where is it? This is 2030, come 2035. This is just given that natural graphite stays the anode of choice, which something might come along, but that's the risk you take, obviously. It looks like now people are like putting a lot of money into natural graphite anode factories. Graphene is another one which also uses natural graphite. Sodium ion doesn't use natural graphite, but we're going to need sodium ion and we're going to need lithium ion as well, in my opinion. Sodium ion is a big thing coming along, which is made from all abundant things. Go to sodium ion battery, which is why I definitely see sodium ion coming along, but I definitely see lithium as needed too, because sodium ion won't be able to compete with lithium for years to come, because we've been streamlining lithium for years. Okay, so we'll just start at the top here. Anything I missed? Anything interesting? Okay, cap 200 million, cash 86 million. POSCO 15%. So POSCO's probably got a lot of money, and if they need money, they'll say, POSCO, can you give some money? We need to get this done. They'll say yes. Just give me that natural graphite. So moving along, agreements in place, everything looks good. Term sheet agreed for offtake module 1. Okay, coming down. Ooh, qualified with finance. Great to see. All mail board. Okay, so here we are. Yeah, there's LFP, which is probably the battery choice just given on price. Doesn't have nickel. So interesting fact, nickel is like probably the limiting factor in batteries. It's the most rarest thing. After nickel, it's lithium, and then so that's why we're going to sodium ion, because everything in sodium ion battery is super abundant, where lithium ion we've got nickel and just lithium itself. Probably missed something there, and probably someone will correct me, but yeah, all the batteries need graphite. The anode might be half synthetic graphite, which comes from like petroleum coke, and half natural graphite. That seems to be the gist of it. If anyone out there knows better than me, please correct me, but I believe it's 50-50 natural and synthetic in the anode, because you get the benefits of both. Oh, here we go, natural graphite increasing in batteries, so synthetic, yeah, so about a 50-50. Yes, coming down, battery raw material demand goes, so we know batteries are going to go up. Just seems good that you plug your car into your home, which has got solar panels, drive around for free instead of using petrol that's not got anything recyclable about it. Structure deficit. So here we are, 2023. They think 2023 is going to be deficit. Other guys predict 2025, and then massive deficit. So there's a lot of graphite in the ground, but guess what? They have to spend $200 million to get it going, and no one's going to do that until the price kicks up. So that's what I see happening. Demand, expected supply. Ooh, that's interesting. Of course, they're going to say something like this because they're a graphite company, and graphite's how they make money. Interesting stuff here. So lithium's gone up. It went up huge. Graphite, it's needed in there. So what do you think is going to happen? What do you think? Snapshot of this mine. Yeah, we know all this. So location's a big thing here. So how far are they from the port? They're 500 kilometers. Pretty average. Like there's no one right next to a port, and then it's getting ported somewhere anyway. So pretty decent location, I guess. What else can I say? So Small Flake, the company I was looking at, ITM. Small Flake wasn't good for much of the other stuff, but now Small Flake is what you need for lithium-ion batteries. So that's why ITM has Small Flake, and now is good use. The growth is going to come from lithium batteries, not these other stuff. So the Small Flake was the cheapest stuff, I think, and now it's probably going to increase in price along with the expensive stuff. Just my opinion. Okay, high margin, yep, good. Low technical risk. Pilot plant's done, so they sort of know what they're doing. Mine can produce 3 grades of product. Yep, that's great, whatever. Lowest peak capital expenditure per annual ton of production of any development stage global graphite project. Take in mind, what they say CapEx is and what it ends up is can be different. They can have cost blowout, whatever. But you don't know that. The share price might go up before then. You can sell out, and then I don't know, announcement comes out, we blown more money. Who knows? Yeah, apparently I rang up a graphite guy once. He said, "Oh, that project blew out by 500 million." I know. I think it was Sahara Resources, which was $1 billion. You might want to do your own research on that. $1 billion company actually selling natural graphite as we speak. Okay, back to here. Hydro, so they say hydro might increase. I think it's about 40%. Yeah, and I like the presentation here by them. It's very professional. Ooh, they have a wet season. Didn't know that. Ooh, 50-60% debt. It's probably good because they can, as long as they don't have to pay it back and then they sell the project on them, which has happened to a lithium company right at the wrong time. Advancing next step. So, my opinion on this, I'd like this company if it was 50 million, I do believe this will become a billion-dollar company. My opinion, not sure how many X's on the share price, because guess what, they'll have to dilute. So if you put a gun to my head and say you will die in 5 years, do you think this company is going to be worth $1 billion? I'd probably say yes. I'd probably say yes, it would be worth $1 billion or more, market cap that is. If I had to choose and I died in 5 years, I'd probably say yes. So that's it for this video. I'll now go into ITM. So ITM, ooh, the markup's going up a bit now. So where are we? So basically ITM, they have a small resource now, but if you look at this, they're going to drill this out, and that's like a 50-year mine life there at about 10% or 7 to 12%. It's already been drilled. They've flown a helicopter over with a magnet, get its magnetic reading, so they drilled into it, confirmed it was graphite. Now they've raised money, they're going to drill it out even more, and that's one thing. They have two things this size, which is going to be a massive mine life, pretty much comparable to RNU in my opinion. Obviously I haven't drilled yet to triply confirm that, but what do you think they're going to drill and hit? What do you think the magnetic reading is? So that's a JORC resource, and there's this other one over here which is the same size as this one. That's the graphite, and then they have this kaolin, which is ceramics, and rare earths, which could be a project in itself. Don't really care if that succeeds, because I do believe this graphite one will succeed. And if you look at RNU's capex, money you have to spend to build the mine, it is world class. So these guys are near RNU, so guess what? They're probably going to have similar capex, similar opex, which is very good with RNU. It's just not been announced yet, but if you pick stuff before the announcements, that's how you make the money. So this very big thing, that's like 1 kilometer by like 3 kilometers. So that's ITM. These are on wheat fields, so they're going to harvest the wheat, which is probably done, and then they're going to drill it. And it's not as if they're upsetting the wheat fields. It's only like a 1 kilometer by 3 kilometers. They're not. So that's the other big one here, La Croma. That's Sugarloaf. This is their one here, which is already a 10-year mine life. So they've done metallurgy. They don't have to use acid on this natural graphite to get it into the battery, which is a big tick. Probably same as RNU. And who knows, there's probably more graphite around here. Who knows? So this company, I believe, is very good. 40, well, they're a bit more than 30 million now, with about 8 million in cash, which I believe will, I put my money on it, that they're going to have a good project here with a good capex, good opex, that's going to get it into production. This is my opinion, and I put my money on it. Not financial advice. So budget this month is 1200 mil, so that should get them ahead. So basically, if you run these companies, you want to spend the least money as possible. So you don't want to raise a lot of money. You only raise what you have to, and if your share price goes up, then you raise more at a better price, not diluting the share price, which they seem to be doing pretty well. To be honest, this company was raised money at 25 cents, and people said, well, like there's $10 million in offers, and they only won 2 million, so only 2 million of shares were raised. So big support at 25 cents for this company. So I think they'll drill. They're probably drilling. They'll probably have announcements soon saying they're going to drill, and it's not like massive copper holes that go kilometers long. It only probably goes not that deep, so it'll be pretty fast to get the announcements. Who knows? Probably going to be graphite there. I guess I have to send away and get it checked, whatever. So I think once the drill results come back, could little spike here, could drizzle down a bit, don't know, but I thought this was a pretty good price. If it drops down to 20 cents, I'd pretty upset. I'd be like, oh well, I couldn't have picked that right now. You couldn't have picked this going to 20 cents. Look, it went 20 to the 3x there and came back down. But here, I believe it's pretty good pricing, and I bought in around this price. If it goes down more, I don't see it going down too much further. As I said, 25 cents had strong support from people lining up to buy it. So this is my top pick in graphite. If you're still watching, we'll move along to IG6. 12 20 million. That's not correct. Always go to here for your market cap. So they're similar. I don't think they have a massive resource like these guys. They probably have a 20-year mine life anyway, and they're doing more than downstream. So they're getting out of the ground, making it into balls, and then coating those balls in a coating which makes them not degrade in the battery. They're doing it all in-house. So this company is pretty good in my opinion as well. And fine, I'll go to VRC on the ASX. So this company has a working mine in Ukraine. Obviously Ukraine's a war, but if Ukraine turn around out of war right now, they make 10 million a year from that mine, and then they could spend money and make $100 million a year. Spend like not much money. It's existing mines who spend a lot less money than someone building a new mine, and do 100,000 tons per year, which is $100 million. And then they got the one in Ukraine, which is affected by war, but then they've got a massive one in Tanzania as well that they spend $200 million, and they make $200 million a year for like 20 years. And then they can do that in stages too, not to dilute the company. So that's another one of my top picks. I'll just end that here. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.